What's going on, fans? It's Kenneth SBM Boxing. For request, subscribe. Let's speak boxing. What are we going to speak about? We're going to speak about Amir King Kong. He's stepping into the ring against Saul Canelo Alvarez, the WBC middleweight champ. This fight's going to take place May 7th in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the T-Mobile Arena. Damn, that's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm surprised that Amir Khan's taking this fight. Amir Khan got some big-ass balls to do some shit like this. But, you know, it's set. So I'm definitely going to go. I'm going to try my best to get out there and take some time off of work to go check this out. One of my main things that pop out is, you know, it is at a catch weight at 155, but I don't want to talk too much about that because that's a whole different conversation itself. Why is it at catch weight? Being that Saul Canelo Alvarez is the middleweight WBC champ. He should be fighting at 160. No catch weight, but that, like I said, I can go on and on about that with George the Boxing Genius some other time. But George got some purpose to it. The Genius definitely has some points. And it is fucking out boxing itself. Cotto fought him at 155. He's fighting at 155 right now, but he's holding a 160 belt. But like I said, I'm not going to touch too much bases on that. I want to talk about Amir Khan stepping up in weight. He's jumped up in 2 weight classes. But, you know, he sees himself walking in at 165 the night of the fight. He says that's his everyday walking around weight, 165. So you casual boxing fans should know that these guys right here, when they get into the training camps and things like that, they shred a lot of weight. So their natural weight's around 165. So he doesn't see too much of a big difference, and he should be all right. He should come into the weigh-in at 155. He's going to bulk up to 165. Saul Canelo Alvarez will weigh 155. More than likely bulk up to like 170, 175. But Freddie Roach says, you know, the night of the Cotto fight, he's seen him like at 180, 185. And if it is 180, 185, that's 20-pound difference for Amir Khan. And that's a lot of punching power to deal with. Stylistically, because styles definitely make fights, I understand that Amir Khan's explosive. He's speed. He definitely has to utilize his speed. He can't put on too much weight. Why? Because his speed kills. He has to stay explosive. He has to keep his agility. It's going to be like an Erislandy Lara fight that he's going to have to run around the ring the whole entire time. He can't stay toe-to-toe against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is quick as well, man. You know, Khan's explosive, but Canelo's just as explosive. I say Khan has the fastest hands in the game. Yes, but stylistically, I think it's a mismatch. You know, why? Because as far as power, Amir Khan's power doesn't pose a threat whatsoever. I think Canelo Alvarez will walk through him. But let's talk about this. The only way I can see stylistically if Amir Khan even having a chance coming out victorious, he's going to have to run. He's going to have to run like a Saul Canelo or Erislandy Lara throughout that fight. But Canelo's getting better and better every single fight. You know, his speed and agility is getting a lot better. He's getting a little bit more experience. He's cutting off the ring a lot more. Even when Miguel Cotto was trying to get away and stuff like that, he was able to cut the ring off and capitalize, you know. And Erislandy Lara, his speed and agility is definitely there, but I don't see Amir Khan running around like that. You know, I just don't see it happening. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm not taking anything with it from Amir Khan. Amir Khan's a hell of a fighter. You know, Amir Khan's one of my favorite fighters, and I think that'll be a great matchup stylistically for Floyd Mayweather Jr. At the end of the day, I do think that Amir Khan can beat Keith Thurman. I do think Amir Khan can beat Kell Brook. I do think Amir Khan can beat Timothy Bradley. I do think Amir Khan can beat Danny Garcia if Danny Garcia takes this fight, which I was surprised that this fight didn't happen. But like I said, nothing to take away from Amir Khan. You know, he has a lot of balls. I just think he should have chosen another opponent. Because at the end of the day, you can take Chris Algieri, Devin Alexander, Luis Callaso, fucking Julio Diaz, and for damn sure Carlos Molina, Danny Garcia, even Lamont Peterson. They can't come close, which, you know, if you guys, the list of names is pretty much the people that Amir Khan has defeated, and that's pretty much his resume for his last 6 or 7 fights. You can't compare Canelo Alvarez to any of those dudes, man. You know, I honestly think if you take Chris Algieri and Devin Alexander the same night, Canelo beat him on the same night, on the same card. You know, Luis Callaso, you can't even compare Canelo Alvarez's ability to Luis Callaso. So I just don't see it. You know, I just don't see it. Now, the only reason, you know, James Kirkland posed the threat against Canelo Alvarez was with force power. And James Kirkland had a short night because he didn't realize how fast this motherfucker is and how hard Canelo Alvarez punches. You know, Erislandy Lara had a chance. Why? Because he's fast, he's quick. He was, they were able to compare the Alfredo Angulo, who has a lot of power, and Lara sustained the damage. Came out victorious, put on a great performance against Angulo. Canelo put on a great performance against Angulo, and the Lara and Canelo fight was a hell of a fight, and a lot of people gave that fight to Lara, Erislandy Lara. But I don't see Amir Khan being as agile and utilizing the ring as Erislandy Lara. I just don't see it. I don't see it whatsoever. Amir Khan is fast, he's explosive, but he has definitely holes in his game as far as defensively. Floyd Mayweather Jr. came out victorious with Canelo Alvarez. Why? Because he's the defense king, man. His defense is flawless, and he had the right recipe and the right style to come out victorious. I just don't see Amir Khan having that defense that tight as Floyd Mayweather Jr. Canelo Alvarez also beat Austin Trout. He beat José Lopez. He beat Shane Mosley way back in the day. But at the end of the day, I'm shocked that I seen this fight. But it's entertaining. At least this is a good example of making shit happen. Obviously, they're gonna make a shitload of money and stuff like that. But this is a good treat for the casual boxing fans and just boxing fans in general, just to see some fight like this. The David and Goliath. So I give kudos, and my hat goes out to Amir Khan for taking on and having the balls to take on this fight. I think he's a little bit out his league and bit a little too much that he can chew, but I respect it, and I listen to a lot of boxing channels out there, and the boxing channels are just basically calling Canelo Alvarez a bitch and shit like that. I think, I understand where he's coming from as far as the catch weight at 155. I think that fight happened because Miguel Cotto. I don't know where. There's a lot of other fighters that Canelo Alvarez can take on that deserve a chance rather than Amir Khan, especially when Amir Khan has never fought in that weight class, and it's a catch weight. So Canelo Alvarez, I completely get it. But at the end of the day, it's a business. I hate to say that shit. But that doesn't give a free pass. I think Canelo Alvarez needs to take on bigger and better opponents that could pose a bigger threat at his division at 160. So I'm not agreeing to this fight whatsoever. But on the Amir Khan side, shit, he has balls, man, taking on this fight, and that's big guts. But for Canelo Alvarez, I don't judge his integrity. I'm not saying that he's scared whatsoever, because his last few fights, when he took on, Miguel Cotto, he took on James Kirkland, he took on Erislandy Lara, he took on Alfredo Angulo, he went against Oscar De La Hoya and took on the big names. I think later down the line, I see Canelo taking on Triple G. Maybe this is a possible tune-up fight, but this is a shitty tune-up fight, but it's an easy way of coming out victorious for Canelo Alvarez and making a shitload of money in doing so. But anyways, guys, this is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Friend, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Have a good one.